Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Dean. I am a personal trainer and a stretch therapist based out of Toronto. I've been doing this for almost 16 years now, and I've worked with over 10,000 hours hands-on people. And I've seen a common connection between our physical well-being and our emotional well-being. And more research as it comes out on fascia, it does tie both these components together. Initially, Christine asked you guys who knows what fascia is, and some of you said yes. So does anyone want to take a crack on it? What is fascia? All right. You can't be wrong. It's in everyone's body. Absolutely. It's a connective tissue that connects literally everything within our body. It's almost we were wrapped up real nice to send it the present moment as a gift. And this wraps around every system internally, your nerves, your all the circulatory system, lymphatic system, your organs, and also of course your muscles and your ligaments and your bones. So now, how would fascial health or posture be in line with your emotional well-being? Does anyone see any connection with that at all? Okay, so have you ever heard, just strong, confident posture? What would that be? Just standing upright straight, right? So that sounds a little familiar. So it's if you're talking about emotion of confidence stemming out of how we carry ourselves from one point to the other. But if you look at our modern lifestyles, now that's conformed our bodies into slouched posture quite a bit. So your fascia role is simple. It wants to make everything easy for you. It doesn't work that way. It actually becomes really hard as we age. Um, it's going to adapt to the things we are doing consistently, whether we are sitting in a static position or we are moving or we are playing. Um, Literally anything that you do repeatedly, your body will get better at doing it. Now, whether that's sitting on a gaming console in this position, looking at your cell phones in this position, your body will get really good at it, but it comes with a cost. The cost is dysfunctional firing of the muscles. So now, which also means that another system now that starts to get impacted, which we use heavily, about 20,000, 30,000 times a day. Anyone wants to guess what that would be? If you're a star A student. What is it? Well, that's you, yeah, we're carrying ourselves, but let's just think about you are doing it right now. By 20,000, 30,000 times a day, breathing. Beautiful. So breathing relies on your physical anatomy quite a bit. Now, why would that be the case? There's a muscle called diaphragm that sits right in the center. You will be hearing a lot more about breath work later on too, which is an excellent coping tool just to bring yourself back to the body. Now, the moment you take a breath in and you allow your stomach to inflate, I want everyone to try that. We're speaking of posture, let's just try to sit straight, do your best. So when you take a breath in and you try to access your diaphragm, I want you to sort of intentionally stay slouched. Forget about the posture. Stay in this position and try to breathe into your stomach and see how awkward does that feel. You probably would feel it's not accessible to you at all. So what happens is then your body is going to be utilizing the secondary muscle, which are supposed to aid in breathing. Now that would be your pecs, your intercostals, your scalenes. And how many of you feel neck pain, shoulder dysfunction over here? Quite a few, right? So it's a common thing. It's a common thing, but the sad thing is now that dysfunctional loading and perceived fallen postures and function is becoming a normal thing. It's not normal, it's common. It's commonly observed. So understanding how breath plays a huge role in this is actually monumental because you can start working on improving your fascial quality just by breathing properly. The moment you've tried that with the slouch posture, I want you to think of grounding your feet. Almost now you're communicating, you know what, I'm going to sit down. Not so sitting doesn't happen to your body. You make a choice of sitting down, use your feet to push into the ground, to sort of slide yourself back into the seat. You'll find yourself a little bit more erect. The moment you breathe out, you will notice a bit of tension in the core. And take the next breath in into your diaphragm, you will feel it will be more accessible. Is that right? So I'm getting some nods. So we can say we are doing a research right now and the results are positive. So this is exactly what happens. So the moment you are relying on secondary systems to sort of breathe all day long, which is causing certain muscles to misfire, they'll get tighter, your fascia is going to adapt, it gets thicker, it results in your now posture turning into more rounded shoulders forward eventually as you get older, more kyphotic spine. So you start to notice postural shift in the body. Now, what does that come with? Physical pain. Now, that could be in your knees, that could be in your hips, that could be in your back, depending on how your body is adapting. Now, if you're not feeling good in your body, what are the chances you're going to feel good emotionally about life? That's something to think about, right? So if you aren't feeling good about being in a car that's consistently beeping, the check engine light is on, someone put a happy face sticker on it so no one sees it, but you know it's there because there's a beeping sound. All of a sudden, there's an uneasiness to you. You don't want to be in the car, but you're going to a cottage, scenic views, but the damn car is making so much sound. You know, you're concerned if it's just going to blow up. You're not going to enjoy the trip now, are you? So this is my angle towards posture, fascia, and mental wellness. We spend a lot of time on technology. So a lot of things are occupying our mind, whether it's TV, whether it's our cell phones, whether it's our, Chromebooks or gaming consoles. I love all of these things. Just like that one, I like all of them. They are here to help us. We are live in a society we cannot say no to technology. It's going to happen. So what we have to shift now is how do we interact with it, right? We can't say, sitting is the new smoking. So it's breaking our bodies up. What kind of control do you leave with after making such statement? Do you feel empowered or do you feel defeated? I would say I feel defeated. Sitting is happening to me all day long, 9 to 5. What I'm going to do? I'm not going to stretch because you're going to tighten back up again. And you're right, you will, because your body is smarter than that one stretch. What your body is going to adapt to, it's something that's happening consistently as we speak at the moment. For 15 minutes, if you focus on, let's say, grounding, engaging, and focusing on proper breathing pattern, all of a sudden you start to notice you're really present in this moment. All of a sudden you're not thinking what's going to happen tomorrow or what might have happened yesterday, or maybe perhaps summertime you're going to get to go away somewhere or not, or what's going to happen, south of the border. So there's a lot of concerns that will cloud your mind because we are taking in a lot of media, we're spending very little time in our body. So my angle here is the moment you start to connect to your posture, you start to address the global system internally, that's fascia. Fascia literally wraps around everything in the body. Okay, so if you are gardening, so you're just sort of watering your plants and you're stepping on a hose as you're watering the plants, do you think that's going to impact the pressure? Yes? So what would you do? Would you turn the tap on a little bit more or just move your foot? There we go, right? That's easy. You take the foot off and the pressure increases. But now think of our body. All the veins are flowing through the fascia on the hip joint. Let's just take this heavy traffic zone over here, all right? So all day you're sitting down. Now the fascia is all dried up. Everything is flowing through it. So now is there a slight chance that might be actually impacting your circulatory systems internally? Yeah? Now what can that lead to in your body? It can lead to low energy, not wanting to do things. Now, if you're in that state, how would you be your emotional state? Would it be positive? Would it be negative? Negative. So mental health and physical health, they go hand in hand. Posture, which has sadly become something that we see around us, not that present, even in grown adults we see around, and that's the most confusing thing about kids. We can tell them, sit straight. We are slouching ourselves. I got a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old. They see me straight all the time. They're always trying to sort of find any moment that I'm slouching. And they'll point it out, Dad, you weren't straight. I was like, yeah, I know. That was intentional. I was trying to stretch myself. So we have set a really unnatural example for the next generation by not setting, through following the footsteps that we want them to follow. And that's not because we mean something bad or we don't want them to learn, because I think it's more lack of understanding of what a lack of attention and awareness in the body does to our physical state, and hence just relates to our mental state. So both these components are very, very related. So in order to combat mental stiffness, we got to start addressing the physical stiffness too. Now, how do you do that? How do you tackle it? Well, step one, it's so simple: ground, engage, and mindfulness. You start grounding and communicate the intent. I'm about to play Fortnite and I'm gonna have so much fun, but I'm gonna sit straight. That's my what do you say, a pact with my son. You can play as long as you can sit straight. So he listens, well, most of the time, but it does work. It just sort of, the moment you start to sort of stop demonizing things that we're doing and start to bring more awareness, now you are the one who's using those things as opposed to things using you. Our presence is powerful, and our presence is non-existent when a posture isn't present. Posture, presence, they go hand in hand. Myself and my colleague over here, we are also stretch therapists. So we work on your body hands-on, something similar to massage. It's a myofascial work, a lot of different modalities that approach that. But our focus is working on joints, because joints are the ones that are adapting. If my hips are adapted to this functional state and they don't move the way they're meant to move, eventually they start to lose movement capacity, movement ability, which means I won't have any control at all in using my body. But that doesn't mean that Getting old sucks. I'm 43 and I move better now than I did in my 20s, but I was in a lot of pain in my 20s. But the moment I became a therapist 16 years ago, understanding of fascia brought me into this present moment. I'm like, wait a second, I'm walking around with an opportunity to operate like a Lamborghini, and I'm happy being a broken down Corolla. That's not nice. And 7, 10 years later, I find my body feels very liberated. I find my physical structure is pliable. It's able to handle movement at the level of my son. So he's always trying to play catch up with me, other way around, you know? And as a result of all the physical work, improving my mobility and posture, confidence that comes with movement, anything that you want to do, you will say, yes, let's see how I do, as opposed to doubting yourself, whether I can handle it or not. Of course you can, but not in the current state. And in order to sort of change that state, certain things that you do in a high volume, they have to change. No matter what you do, you can do meditation. But the moment someone just crosses you and just looks at you in a weird way, and then you lose yourself. So that meditation didn't kind of work out, and I did it. So what was the missing element? Is a mindfulness, right? So the moment you start to bring your attention back to your breathing, something you do 20,000, 30,000 times a day, every single breath you take in, it should go through the nose. I'm not going to go into the breathing mechanics, but the moment you breathe through your nose into your diaphragm, you are stimulating your entire fascial net. So every breath presents you an opportunity to improve your posture. One breath at a time, one posture at a time, and you can start getting better handle over your emotions, over your mental health. So we both are going to be standing over there just helping you guys stretch. If anyone is keen to see what fascial stretch feels like and what a your open joint feels like, we'll work on one side and let you go. You'll be like, this feels so awkward. Now we work on both if you are going to volunteer. But working on the body, you can't ignore the body that you came down with and expect your mind is going to be feeling okay. If your body is in a postural, I would say, going in a regression consistently, you have shallow breathing patterns. As a result of that, you always will stay in a stress response. It's not going to change. They both complement each other. All right, we came down with the body, so we should take care of it because you're going to need it until you're here. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. But thank you so much for allowing me to talk. Thank you.